Hello students, hope you are all having a good time in your holidays. In today's class we shall start a new chapter called chemical bonding. Before going to this chapter, let us discuss some questions regarding atoms. You might have seen some atoms exist individually, like radon, xenon, they exist as individual atoms, while some other atoms exist as molecules. So why some exist as molecules, why some exist as individual atoms, and why some atoms react vigorously, why some atoms do not react vigorously, why some atoms combine and why some atoms do not combine, why is the formula of water H2O but not HO2 or anything else. All elements are made up of, and compounds made up of individually arranged atoms. Is there individual arrangement in the elements or compounds? Why some are exothermic, why some chemical reactions are endothermic? Now, if it is endothermic, where is the absorbed energy going? What is the reason for change in the reactivity of some elements? Is the absorbed energy related to the chemical bond that is present between the atoms? For all these questions, we have some theories given by different scientists. Let us discuss those theories. For example, you have NaCl, that is common salt, which consists of sodium and chlorine gas. Now, if you shake this salt, are you getting chlorine gas and sodium separately? No. So there is not. So from this you can say that it is not individual arrangement, but there is some force of attraction present between atoms of Na and Cl. This force of attraction present between atoms in a molecule is called chemical bonding. By the end of 19th century, scientists knew about three types of forces: gravitational force, magnetic force, and electrostatic force. There are three types of forces possible: gravitational force, magnetic force and electrostatic force. Now let us discuss about this electrostatic force. Whenever two atoms come together, there are two types of forces possible. That is, there can be repulsion between two neutrons, there can be repulsion between two electrons, and electrons of one atom may be attracted by nucleus of another atom. Electrons of one atom may be attracted by nucleus of the another atom. Suppose if the attraction force is more than the repulsion force, then there is a formation of the chemical bond between the atoms. So that is what is chemical, that is how the atoms combine to form a chemical bond. Now, whenever chemical bond is formed, the inner nucleus, innermost shells are not affected, only the outermost shell is affected. The inner kernel is not affected. Now, to explain the chemical bond formation, first of all, scientists observed the electronic configuration of noble gases. Let us take helium, neon, argon, krypton. Helium atomic number is 2, neon atomic number is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, argon atomic number is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6. Krypton arrangement is 2, 8, 18 and 8, or we shall write like this. The first shell, it has got 2 electrons, in the next shell it has got 8 electrons. For argon, first shell 2, next shell 8, third shell also it has got 8 electrons. Now if you see the arrangement, neon, argon, krypton are chemically they are stable, that is they do not combine with any other atoms, they do not participate in the chemical reaction because they have 8 electrons in the outermost shell. This rule is called octet rule. The atoms have this configuration is called octet configuration. Except for helium, remaining atoms have 8 electrons in their outermost shell. So these atoms, neon, argon, krypton, except for helium, are considered to be stable. Helium, although it has 2 electrons, it is stable because it has only one shell, and that one shell is completely filled. That is the reason why helium is stable, whereas remaining atoms are also stable, that has 8 electrons in the outermost shell. Next we shall discuss a concept called Lewis dot structure or electron dot structure. In order to explain the chemical bonding, Lewis has given a dot structure. It is called Lewis dot structure or electron dot structure. What is this Lewis dot structure or electron dot structure? Let us take sodium. The electronic configuration of sodium is 281. So as per Lewis dot structure, I can write this as Na, put a dot or a cross. This dot or a cross indicates one electron, and this Na symbol indicates nucleus and the innermost shells with innermost shells. This electron represents the electron present in the valence shell, that is the outermost shell. Let us draw it for argon, krypton, xenon. For argon, it has got 8 electrons, so we can write like this. Krypton also has got 8 electrons. Neon also has got 8 electrons, so we can write Ne like this. Let us take aluminium. Aluminium has got how many electrons? 3 electrons in the outermost shell. So we will write it as Al 1, 2, 3, something like this. You can put dot or you can put cross. These dots or cross, they indicate the electrons present in the outermost shell, that is valence shell, and this Al indicates the innermost shell with the nucleus, that is called kernel. This Al indicates kernel, Kernel, kernel. So scientists observed a configuration of noble gases to explain the chemical bond formation. The remaining atoms which are there, the main group elements, that is from 1A to 7A, they are either gaining electrons or losing electrons or sharing electrons, and they are trying to attain the configuration of noble gases. That is the reason why atoms combine. So to understand chemical bonding, a satisfactory theory was put forth by Lewis and Kossel, which is called electronic theory of valence. Electronic theory of valence put forth by Lewis and Kossel. As per this theory, the atoms from 1A to 7A and the remaining atoms, they are trying to achieve the electronic configuration of noble gases either by losing, gaining or by sharing the electrons. So they all try to get the octet configuration, that is the inert gas configuration: helium 2, neon 28, argon 288, krypton 28, 18, 8. So remaining atoms, they are trying to get the electronic configuration of noble gases by gaining, losing or by sharing the electrons. Let us see how. If you take sodium, it is of first group, it has electronic configuration 281. So in order to become stable, it gives one electron, it becomes 28. Now this has got neon configuration. Similarly, if you observe magnesium, it has got 2, 8, 2 electrons. It loses 2 electrons to become stable to get the configuration of neon, that is 2, 8. Aluminium, if you see, it has configuration of 2, 8, 3. It is losing 3 electrons to become stable, that is to get the neon configuration 2, 8. If you take oxygen, it belongs to 6A group element, it belongs to 6A group. Oxygen has got 2, 6 electron. It will gain 2 electrons to become 2, 8. Similarly, if you take fluorine, it has got 9 electrons, 2 and 7. In order to become stable, it will gain 1 electron and it will become 2, 8. If you take neon, it has electronic configuration 2, 8. It doesn't combine with any other atom, neither it gains energy nor it loses energy. This theory was put forth by Lewis and Cousel. So, this theory is called electronic theory of valence. Now, what is this octet rule? Atoms combine, elements combine to form elements, atoms of various elements, they react with other atoms to get octet configuration, that is having 8 electrons in the outermost shell. So, that is what is called as octet rule. Now, electronic theory of valence by Lewis and Cousel is based on the octet rule. Now, this octet rule is just a rule, it is not a law. There are some exceptions to this octet rule. Let us discuss it in the next class. So, as I told you, electrons, they either lose energy, gain energy or share energy by forming two types of bonds. One is ionic bond, other one is covalent bond. So, in our next class, we shall discuss about ionic bond and covalent bond. That's all for today's class, children. We shall continue in the next class.